Okay, so we just killed Fangrist, the third boss in AQ40, not including Bug Trio. And next up is you'll see some of these crawlers. I forget their exact name. We'll see it in 1 second when I click them. But they come in these two packs of two. There's three of them. There's two up here, and then there's another pack at the far. Yeah, the Vecnus Hive crawler. So they hit pretty hard. They do a poison bolt on a random target, I believe. Yeah, like that. And see how much damage? That is like 2,500 damage. You don't want to stack these. I'm not sure that if it actually matters, but just separate them, kill them one at a time. Say like how yeah, they melee pretty hard. Um, but outside of that, they don't really do anything. Let's see, are they stunnable? They're not stunnable. I do a little test there. Is there a way to speed up? Let's see. So this cave just keeps going, and then there's this last third pack right here. Again, see how much damage is going out. So there's a poison they're spitting on the raid, and the poison does tick for a bit, but I think the main thing is the actual initial damage. Like right here, who is this that gets hit? A priest. I have it exactly written down somewhere how much damage they hit. Trash Huhu. They melee for about 1,000. The poison hits for about 2,500, and then it ticks 25 for 500 damage every second. It is dispellable. They do a sunder and a crippling poison, but those don't do much. They're not very notable. The next thing we have is these packs. There's 6 of them, I believe. The Wasp Stinger packs. These are just like the trash in AQ20, except there's just gonna be an extra mob. So each one will always at the beginning. So at the beginning of AQ20, they're just like those packs. So they have 4 mobs. Every single pack will always have 1 stinger and at least 2 wasps. It's the exact same. They just do more damage. So the stinger will do a charge. If it charges someone with poison, it does a ton more damage, and it like AQ40. And you'll notice this the deeper that we go in. A lot of this trash is similar to AQ20, just scaled even harder, essentially. Um, but anyway, each pack will have one stinger that does the charge, 2 wasps which do the poison. They give out the itch debuff and they give the poison, and then there'll be a 4th mob. It can either be another wasp, so we can have like 1 stinger, 3 wasps, or it can be a Karaji Lasher. This Karaji Lasher has about 100,000 health. They're just like the you can kind of see how they're pat. So it's honestly really fucking sketchy to pull in here. So I would not do what I did like this. I would pet pull. But you can see how here we have 4 mobs. We have 2 wasps. We have 1 stinger. And actually the colors are different, right? The stinger is the white guy now, and the wasps are like golden. Um, so not the red and white. So make sure you're reading the name. But these lashers are just like the Sartura ads. They'll do a whirlwind. They'll knock players back. They do a lot of melee damage, and they'll constantly drop threat. So if we have a lasher, let's see what they do. Do I do anything stunnable? I think I missed everything with my grenade. So you can see, yeah, so it's loose, and it's just whirlwinding everybody in the raid right now. See how much damage? It's just, yeah, we can't do that. So what's going to happen is range are going to focus fire this X. We're going to have 2 tanks on it, just rotating taunts, just keeping it in place. I don't really want melee going in. I want melee going in on the stingers and the wasps. So they're taking this damage needlessly, but just 2 tanks. I think we can stun it outside of Whirlwind, similar to Surtur ads, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me show you another pack. Does this one have a... This is a no lasher pack. See how fast they're... Yeah, they're 172, so it's really fucking hard to pull. And like, I almost get pincered here, see, look, because I'm like, oh, I'll get skull. This pack is coming up on the right. I'm like, oh, never mind, I'll get the one on the right, and then boom, a third pack, not even the skull pack, comes out of nowhere. So it's really hard to... You just gotta be really careful. Well, honestly, we may be able to split pull these. I don't think it's necessary, truthfully. And honestly, it probably makes it more dangerous, just because of how many packs there are. Okay, so this is another lasher pack. Let's see how the group handles it. I want to see some poison charges because like their charge does I think their charge with the poison does like 6,500 damage. Oh my god! See, look at that, 4,800 damage, barely living. and I'm gonna get more poisons here. Ticks for 300. I mean, look, it's on a mage, and the melee doesn't do much damage. So just blow these up. We're gonna single target the stinger because there's only one. Ranged are on X. I think we'll have kind of a stacking strat. I still need to talk about it. See, like, look at that explode. That's why like melee shouldn't even go in either. Because like, is that guy gonna pull him? Oh, I guess not. It's okay. But yeah, it's just the same trash. They just hit harder. But popping GNPPs and being safe, I think you'll be okay. So there's, I think 6 packs. There's also a path that goes into Huhu's room. So see here, I'm pet pulling. Yeah, I'll show one more pack and then I'll go to Huhu. Yeah, so I grab it, cancel Eyes of the Beast. Yeah, so honestly, that's kind of how I want us to be pulling. Let's see, what do we do with the Lasher? Oh, it's in the middle of the raid, and instantly someone dies. Hold on, was that a? Did he get poisoned? Where is he? He's up here. I think a poison goes out. Oh, is it this guy? Let's see. Yep. Oh no, that's not him. Who died? But anyway, you can see how fucking instant it is. So honestly, I would have Elixir of Poison Resistance macroed into, after you kill. So after we kill all these the scorpions just before, I think we just put on our macros for poison resistance and be spamming it because it feels even faster than the AQ20 trash, the charges. Okay, so there's a couple packs. There's one more that I grab. Start moving in. So yeah, that's the last one. Okay, and this boss is who? I'm gonna show a different video for this. Okay, so who run. Let me pull up the thing with this. So we're not popping any cooldowns at the beginning. We want to make sure that Dell and I are close on threat. The boss is not tauntable, but we do want to tank swap halfway through the fight because there's a stacking tank debuff that's undispellable. You can't cleanse it. I think you can like bop it off maybe, but that's kind of, I don't know, high risk. Um, anyway, we're gonna two tank this. So DPS are gonna be in their NR gear. You're gonna be at 210 minimum. Um, that's with your NR. What's it called? Your NR and we'll have 100 Rs in every melee group. But we need 15 melee to stand closer to the boss than the tank. This is for the poison bolt. It'll do a pulsating every 2 seconds, sends out poison to everybody near here. It's 2,500 damage to the closest 15 people. It doesn't count hunter pets or warlock pets or any of that. Does 2,500 damage per tick. That's unresisted, and it can be resisted. So that's why we're stacking a ton of NR. She will also enrage at 30%, so that's why we're not popping cooldowns at the beginning. You're saving everything for 35%, and then you go ham. We want to kill it as soon as possible. That's when she increases her attack speed by 200%, so she's slamming the tank. That's also when she starts doing the poison bolt on the 15 closest melee, so that's when they're getting slammed as well. The boss does a Wyvern Sting, which is an AoE sleep. It doesn't do any damage, I don't think, actually, on the initial cast. It may do a couple hundred. Um, but it sleeps a target for I think 12 seconds. It is dispellable by poison, but when you dispel it, it instantly deals 3,000 nature damage to that target, to the person getting dispelled. So really, the only people that should get dispelled are me and Dell, or the two tanks. Um, Even other healers, maybe. I mean, maybe dispel other healers, but really, if it goes on a healer, it should only be one healer because it's an AOE sleep. So as long as you're spread out, I think 10-yard spread. Um, the only time it could go on multiple people would be on melee. And I think for this, we could just have two melee stacks so that are both tied, on the boss pretty much, but are slightly spread apart. Because I think the hit range is a little bit. Um, I don't think it may be 8 yards. I think what's 8 yards is the noxious poison. The noxious poison is an AOE silence. So we just talked about the AOE sleep. This is the AOE silence. It ticks for 1,000, less than 1,000 damage every 2 seconds. So it's about 4K throughout the duration because it's an 8-second cast. I don't think it's dispellable. Just make sure, again, you're spread out so you're minimizing whoever gets hit. And then Hunters, this is also a trank fight. She frenzies about every 12 to 13 seconds I've seen from logs. So make sure you are getting that off. So in this video, this is like week 1 clear, so they have like shitty in our gear. Where we can see that this detain guy, he's going to tank the boss first. So he's going in. Okay, and see all these melee are instantly getting as close to the boss as possible. They don't want to be like parrying, right? But they want to be closer, which I think that this tank actually can maybe back up. So I'll show the health bar. No one should be popping anything yet. He popped Death Wish for threat. See, this is a good threat meter. He's staying very close, within 5k threat. See, so that was the AoE silence. So and then boom, an AoE sleep on all the melee. So that did a lot of damage. So he calls for a stop threat. So he puts on his shield. He's got some of the debuffs. What is it? 46%. So now C Strike has it. So he turns the boss away. This other off tank goes behind all these other guys because he shouldn't be wearing any art in an R. So now we're at the tank swap because we don't want that stacking debuff. Detain should still be taking damage throughout this fight still. Yeah. So it's at 35%. They're still asleep. 30%, and boom, he does the enrage, and melee are just going to start taking a ton of damage. I think they popped a good amount of GNPPs, but I mean, still look how quick they're making damage. I want to show it. This is a very clean fight, so this is like ideally what we will look like. But let me find a fight. Let me show you my kill from a few days ago. We may wipe on the first one. I'm not actually sure. Okay, so all the melee are just waiting. The boss is free. I guess Fairy Fire pulled aggro. Everyone is range is spread out. The Trank is going out. This melee need to get closer. Yeah, look, yeah, and that was the AoE silence, and then boom, AoE sleep again on melee, which isn't great. But honestly, all I care about is showing how much damage actually goes out. Yep, so that's the AoE silence. He has to wand. They're too close together. They can spread out a little bit. I think they do one tank here, so we'll also see how close, how much damage the main tank gets hit with. So it looks like I'm too close to the, that was the silence. I'm too close to the melee, so I back up. I wanted to test Petri here to see if it works. So here's the Frenzy, just to show I get Petried here, and then Poison Bolt immune. So I'm getting hit, but I'm not actually taking damage. So melee, look at how quick it is, 22%. And look, main tank is dead. This may be, I think this is the wipe. Yeah. So they're not topped off. They're not getting healed. Frenzy comes out. Boom, Poison Bolts. Look how quick they get chunked. Boom. Like, it's so quick. They're not wearing any in our gear. Now it's going on random ranged people. It's out of control, and it's a wipe. Yeah. So this is what we don't want. See how quickly she's pulsating. Let's see how much damage. Yeah, 1500. 1500. I resist 400. Yeah. So we don't want to do that. Let me show our kill. Oh, even the kill is sloppy. Okay, so we pull again. We're at 45%. It's literally you're pretty much just, it's like phase 1 Ani. You're just auto attacking pretty much for the first 60% of the fight. I mean, you can use spells, but you're not using any cooldowns. Like, the damage doesn't really matter. What matters is that 35%. Right when we get here, we want to nuke it. Okay, so let's see how much damage are the melee taking. 30% enrage here. They're just dropping. They're plummeting so fast. Like, I don't know what the healers are doing. They're not really responding. But like Priest, you can be throwing out powered shields right beforehand. You should all have your GNPP ready. You should not be popping your GNPP until this is going on. After, you get hit once or twice and you're at like 70% health. Again, if you get low, you can Petri. Pallies can bubble and run in and be one of the soakers to save one of the melee. Dwarves can run in stone form to save one of the melee. I believe stone form just makes you completely immune, right, to all poisons. So I don't think the burst. You don't take any damage from it. Um, Biggest thing is just do not let the tank get hit with this because they will die for sure. This is when you can pop a shield wall, pop a last stand, any defensives you have. Okay, and then right after this are the Anubisath Guardians, I think they're called. Anubisath Defenders. They're just like the AQ20 Aussie Trash. except they just hit harder, pretty much. Um, their Thunderclap hits for like 1500. Their Plague is probably the big one. That ticks for 1200 damage, which is way more than what we see in AQ20. I think Meteor actually hits about the same, but we definitely cannot single stack it because the Thunderclap hits so hard. The ads also cleave even harder. It's just, in general, just more damage going out. Shadow Volley hits for 3,000, which is a ton. So definitely be popping G and PP on these. You can also pop GSPP for the yep, boom. What is that? 2,600 damage on Shadow Storm. So we all stack. They get hit twice. There, yeah. This rest of the Druid is dead. Groovy. Okay, so here's the Plague. So they're getting out. There's the ad. You can fear the ad. But yeah, like the Plague. Not only does it tick for 1,200, it ticks everyone around you for 1,200. So like I had my pet out. Well, my pet's dead, but I had my pet out like a bad person. See, this is a ton of AoE damage coming up from these lashers as well. So we're gonna pull all these so far back that we can just kind of constantly AoE fear them, and tanks can pick them up as well. It also has a spell reflect, just like AQ20 trash. I'm not really gonna explain these again because I mean we've done this fight over and over again in AQ20. It's just now that it hits harder. The biggest thing is we'll just have it be in 2 different stacks. So we'll have a melee stack and range stack. This is explode, so we're all just running away. Let's see if someone dies. Nope, no one dies. See, like this guy was this close and he doesn't even die. So I think it's about 20 yards. Um, Big things really is that if it's like Shadow Volley and Plague, you need to run out from the raid, but you need to stay within 20 yards. So if you need to go, on the opposite side, just don't run out of range of the healers, flank it, whatever. Just don't get Plague and then run so far out you get Shadow Volleyed. If there is Plague, there will not be meteors, so we don't need to worry about that. If it's Thunderclap and Shuttlebolt Volley, then you need to make sure you're within 20 yards, but also farther than 15 yards. So there's, hunters, you know this well, and warriors as well for intercept. There's a dead zone between those 2 ranges, so you need to make sure that you find it. We'll have a mark, and that's where the range will stack. Positioning is just very important for these, and we'll do a couple of these right after Huhu. Yeah, for mounts and trash loot, and just some practice as well, so that we're learning less on the next week for the final push. Um, okay, that's it for this video.